cliches are cliches for a reason. I heard so many videos and so many messages about shift your mindset. And I truly do believe it. I truly do believe it. I know mindset has a lot to do with everything. I know the reason that I think differently now than I did, years previously is why I make certain decisions that I make and I do certain things that I do. So I'm fully aware of that. But sometimes when we hear that, it feels cliche when we're in the moment, when we're going through something heavy, when we're suffering, when we're not where we want to be in life. We don't want to hear about our mindset. We want some money. We want some solutions. We want a breakthrough. We want something. We feel like money is going to fix what I'm going through. Or this person is going to fix what I'm going through. Or this thing is going to fix what I'm going through. When really it is the mindset. When you change your mindset, you make different decisions. And I realize that doesn't become true to you until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like there's tired. I'm learning because I'm like, okay, I've shifted my mindset. I'm doing different things. I'm making different habits. I'm creating different habits. I'm making different choices. And I'm still stuck. Like, I'm just not progressing. I'm not progressing like I should be. But I realized I was tired, but I wasn't. There's tired and sick and tired. Like, I will not, take this another day. I'm not going to deal with this another day. That's the difference. And when you get to that point, you're like, okay, something's got to give. Something's got to change. I'm making a new decision today. Like something's got to give. Something's got to change. And I started writing down, okay, what kind of woman do I want to be without that I authentically want to be? Not who I think social media wants me to be, who I think the world needs me to be, who this person needs me to be, and that person needs me to be. Who do I authentically want to show up as? I think I've wasted a lot of time and resources trying to please and conform to certain things, and I'm just, again, you're just sick and tired. It's just like, there's more. Why can't I touch it? And I can't touch it because I've allowed fear pretty much to hold me back or to make the changes that I know that I need to make. I'm trying to formulate my thoughts as I'm driving, so it's a little difficult. But I say this: when we change your mindset, I mean really change it. Like, and when you do write down like what it is that you want to be or what it is that you want to do, you got to let go of that area that you're fearful of. You tap into that. That's the thing that's different. That's oh my gosh, I don't even know how to put it into words. All I can say is I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like truly. Like I woke up this morning like enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm the one keeping myself back from my goals. I'm holding on to certain areas in my life. I'm making these goals. I'm writing certain things. But while I'm doing that, I'm also limited. Like, I realized I was having limited self-beliefs. So I had kind of like tricked myself into saying, yeah, I shifted my mindset. Yeah, I'm writing a plan. Yeah, I'm making these goals. Yeah, I'm doing this and yeah, I'm doing that. And I'm still stuck in the same place. But it's because I truly deep down inside doubt myself. I doubt my abilities. I doubt myself. Sometimes outside people can see the potential in you. People around you can see the potential in you, but you don't believe it about yourself. That's where the mindset change. That's what it means to shift your mindset. Not so much just shift your mindset about your situation. That's where I had it mixed up. Like, okay, if I think about my situation differently, if, I just write it down and I just do this and I just make a plan. You can make a plan. You can write it down all day. But if you don't think that you're deserving of those things that you've written down and made a plan about, you're going to give up when the going gets tough. You have to believe that you're worthy. You have to believe that you're enough. And again, it sounds cliche. It sounds so cliche. You don't even want to hear it. You don't even want to do it. You like, nah, it ain't gonna work. That's just what all the motivational speakers and the gurus say. But when I tell you that I woke up this morning, I'm no guru. I'm no motivational speaker. I always just share on my channel what I'm going through, what I'm learning. When I tell you I woke up this morning and I said, no, I am valuable. I am enough. I'm worthy of these things. I'm good enough to accomplish these things too. When I start thinking like that, I started writing differently. I started planning differently. That's what's been keeping me back. I have big ideas, but I didn't think I've been worthy to execute them. Now, to go into that, how I even came to this revelation, I should have mentioned this first. I have been really, really in my word heavy this past week. Like heavy. Heavier than usual. Because again, I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of being tired. I'm like, God, I'm going to seek you. I'm seeking you. I'm going to include you in everything. Like, I'm all out of options. I'm all out of ideas. I'm all out of, I have no more ideas. I don't know what else differently that I can do. And by me praying, getting my word, and really truly meditating on his word and getting quiet, I set a goal for myself, because I get distracted easily. I was like, I'm gonna at least I'm gonna read. I've been reading for a long time, and when I'm done reading, I'm gonna go straight into meditation, and I'm gonna just sit there and listen. Even if I don't hear nothing, I'm gonna wait in expectation, and knowing that even if in that moment I may not receive a word, that the Lord is gonna move and he's gonna show me throughout my day. I started waiting in expectation. My faith started increasing and strengthening. I've been praying, Lord, give me the faith. Help my unbelief. I believe, but help my unbelief. There's a part of me that doesn't believe what you have for me. But then there's a large part of me that keeps fighting, because I do believe what you have for me. So help my unbelief, Lord, and give me divine ideas, give me divine instructions. Show me what specifically I need to do differently, because what I'm doing is not working. When I tell you, when I prayed that prayer this morning, I just woke up. It was like 2 to 3 pages full of ideas of how to do things differently that I have been trying to figure out at night, not going to sleep, for countless days, for years. It just, this morning, it's like I literally woke up. He's like, this is where you're weak in your mindset. You don't believe that you're enough. You don't believe what I've said in my word about you. Like, you have to believe it. There's no way of getting around it. He said in his word, it's impossible to please him without faith. And so by me doubting myself, I'm doubting my creator, because he said I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. He said that he knew me before he formed me in my mother's womb. He said that I was chosen. He had a purpose for me before the foundation of the world. Why do I not believe it? I believe everything else he says, but I can't believe those things about myself. That is insane. That is insane. And that's what I'm learning in 2023. It's crazy. I'm just saying 2023. Really, that's what I truly, truly realized this morning. November 29th of 2023. The year is almost over. It's almost 2024. And this revelation, like, it wasn't just a cliche I heard. It's something in my heart that shifted, and I just began writing on paper. And this was inspired. This was inspired through prayer and through meditation. This just wasn't something I decided I just want to write about because I seen it on social media, or because it was somebody else's life, or because somebody else said it. Like, for the first time, this cliche stood true for me. It took root in my heart. I'm pulling up to the Dollar Tree right now as we speak, because I've decided I'm going to get a specific journal for all my business ideas and what I'm going to be doing this year and how I'm going to be working on myself better and authentically. And I'm getting one for my son, because I don't want my son to go through this. And when I had this revelation, I instantly thought about my son this morning. And I told him, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to get you and I a journal. And I want you to write down all your dreams right now. And I'm doing this because I'm having this revelation. I'm 35, about to be 36. I was like, I want to get my son while he's young. Because I'm like, I wish this was something that I did when I was young, and it was something that I took seriously. You know? So I want him to start ahead. I don't want him feeling like later in life he has to rush because he feel like he's running out of time. I feel like it's just crunch time for me, because I know that time is short and I don't want to waste any time. So I'm going to go get our journals right now. And because I scribbled everything, I just did a complete brain dump this morning on some binder paper. But I like order. I want it to be organized, and I want all my thoughts and all my revelations, especially after prayer meditation, I want it all in one spot. And I have a lot of journals at home, but I have like journals designated for each thing. So this is going to be specifically business ideas and personal growth. Those kind of go hand in hand, because I feel like my business is going to be a part of my purpose. And when I'm working on purpose, when I'm working on something meaningful, it pours into me. I feel like that is my self-care. I'm disappointed in myself when I don't want to work on my ideas, or I don't do certain things, or I let procrastination take over because I feel like I'm unworthy and I'm not enough, and I'm not deserving, and my dreams are too big for me. They may be good for somebody else, but they're not good for me. And I've had to attack that thought at the root. So I'm waking up speaking the word over my life. I'm waking up speaking the word till I genuinely, truly believe it. And it's true. As soon as I woke up and thought that about myself this morning, I literally woke up like I am enough. Like that's just how I woke up. And I usually don't wake up like that. You know, it was like something about today was different. And I was just like, I gotta make a video. I gotta make a video about this, because I'm in the midst of something, you know? So I'm gonna go on Dollar Tree, and then I'm gonna come back out and I'm gonna finish this video, because, you know, I want to continue this car rant because there's other things that I've learned. But this was like the most pivotal, and it's blowing me. It's blowing me right now. So, yeah, I'm going to go in here and then I'll come back out. I'll show you guys the journals that we got. Probably be something simple, and then continue this video. All right. So I just got out of the store. I had pulled my hair back because it was getting too much. I got these 2 journals. It wasn't really the journals that I wanted. Usually when I'm not looking for journals, Dollar Tree has cool journals, and then when I want one, it ain't really one that I want. But I got this one for my son, for him to write his business ideas. And then this one says you can do amazing things, and it kind of reminded me of the scriptures. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I got it for that reason. I wish it actually said that, but it is what it is. And then it's not lined paper, it's just blank paper, which I like because I can sketch my ideas. Sometimes I want to draw out what I'm trying to do, draw my ideas. But yeah, so to continue on with the video with things that I learned in 2023, let me fix this so it doesn't fall while I'm driving. Okay. What else have I learned? So that cliches are cliches for a reason. That's the first thing I learned. The second thing I learned is how much better you feel when you stick to your boundaries, when you're able to say no and to not do things just because other people are doing them. Sounds self-explanatory, right? Because cliches are cliches for a reason. But I notice when I say yes to something that I don't really want to say yes to or didn't really want to do, I feel the worst. And when I take a stand for myself, or I just say no to something that I don't want to do, or I don't have the capacity to do, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. It may be uncomfortable in the moment to say no, but I feel better. My spirit feels better that I said no. Versus when I say yes to something that I really don't want to do and I go ahead and do it anyways, I feel terrible for days to come. Like, it just bothers me. It just bothers me. And then I'm mad at myself because of that people-pleasing side of me that I really have been working on breaking free from. I just don't want to be in the people-pleasing business anymore. I want to focus on what God wants me to do and what I think about me. Because when we're performing and we're trying to mold ourselves to all these different people and what we think they need of us, what's left of you but a shell? Ooh, that was deep. That was deep. I felt that, and I mean that. I mean it. Like, once you're done trying to mold yourself to what you think people need from you, you just feel empty. You feel like a shell. You feel like, who am I really? Who am I really but who I pretend to be? Well, not pretend, but you're trying to mold or be who you think somebody needs you to be, or say things the way you think people need you to say them, or you're just trying to wiggle around, you know what I mean? So you can't truly, authentically be yourself, and that's draining. That's draining. And I think a lot of times that comes from a place of, again, not feeling enough. when you don't feel enough, you're living in this space of, you just feel like you're always going to be rejected if you don't do what people expect of you to do. But I got to the place where it's like, it's a cliche, but if you don't like me for me, oh well. I can't pretend forever with you, you know? And I just feel like for years, I don't know, I just minimize who I am. I just minimize myself. And that's nobody's fault but my own. I just minimize because I didn't want to be seen as different. I don't want to stand out. I don't want to seem like I'm doing too much. And I'm just at the point in my life where I just don't care because life is too short. I can't care. I don't have the capacity to care anymore. I'm too tired. I'm tired of being tired of caring. So that is another point that I've learned in 2023. Oh, what else I learned in 2023? That I'm doing the best that I can with the information that I have and where I am. And that goes the same for my past too. And I need to lighten up on myself and stop being so hard on myself. I think we'll just play over in our minds conversations and situations and what I could have did differently, what I could have said differently, how I could have moved differently. But you could move differently. You couldn't speak differently because you was moving and speaking with the knowledge you had at that time. And even if you felt like, nah, you know, I knew better. Why did I allow myself to do that? You knew better, but you didn't believe better for yourself. Sometimes we don't believe that. Again, it leads back to my first point. You know better, but you don't believe that you're worthy. You don't believe that you're enough. You believe that this is what life has for you. You don't have the faith that something better is coming or that you're even deserving if something better does come. So I'm learning, or what I've learned is to give myself the room and the space to grow, the room and space to make mistakes, to know that I'm doing the best that I can, and that, you know, Lord willing, lets me, you know, God lets me see another day. I can improve on, you know, where I fell short. Every day I'm not going to be perfect. All I can do is be better the next day. And I think it's important, you know, that following day, in the morning time, I like to take inventory, or even that night, of what I could have did differently, how I could have responded differently to certain situations. You know, again, just taking inventory. That's all you can do. Because sometimes we just act out of emotion, and then afterwards we be like, dang, I didn't even have to do it that way, or I didn't even have to say it that way. You're learning, you're growing, and it's going to continue to happen. But just knowing, acknowledging where we're falling short and putting in the work to change those behaviors, that's all you can do, and that's good enough. That's good enough. And don't compare your life to what you see online. You know, this person over here has it all together. Look how they handled that gracefully. You know, I wish I could handle that gracefully like that, or I could have said this, or I could have did that, when you just did what you could where you were. So I think that's important, and that is a big, huge lesson that I learned in 2023. My journey is my journey. I react and I do the things that I do because that's the space I'm operating from. That this is, you know, this is where I am right now, and hopefully moving forward I can get better. Not hopefully, I will get better. And that kind of leads me to my next point. And my next point, I used to kind of brush off when people say, well, I do this because of my childhood, or I do this because I went through this, or I went through that. But it's so true. It's so true. Things and emotions and things that I've been through in my personal life, I try to bury them and I try to push them down. And then I see myself acting out in other areas of my life because of insecurities that those situations have basically brought about. You know what I mean? And I tried to discredit those experiences because I'm like, oh, that's, I don't want to use that as a crutch or an excuse. And I still don't use things as a crutch and excuse. I take what I've been through, I learn, I heal, see what I can do better. Again, I'm always taking inventory and try to make sure those things don't repeat themselves, and I can provide a better life for my son. That's kind of like me redeeming things that I've been through or experienced or I've done. just trying to provide better life for my son, better opportunities. But it's true, certain things trigger me because of what I went through as a child. And I know it because when I think about those things, like, I'll randomly just like break down. I randomly break down. And I'm like, dang, where is this coming from? Like, I didn't even know this part of my life was bothering me or irritating me or had anything to do with anything. But I find myself thinking when I go through certain things, man, this is how I felt as a child. Now I'm experiencing this again as an adult, and this is painful. Again, you have those, the feelings of rejection, the feeling of abandonment, that insecurity, you're not good enough, which then affects every other area of your life, which I talked about earlier in this video. When your mindset, when you let certain outside circumstances or people affect your mindset, it's going to affect every other area of your life. How you move, your business decisions, how you function, how you interact with people. It does affect those things. So when we hear, you know, oh, I went through this as a child and I went through this and I went through that, we can't just write it off and be like, oh, that's just an excuse. I'm not saying live in that. I'm not saying use those things as a crutch. I'm saying recognize it. Recognize when those feelings come up. Get to the root of, okay, why am I feeling this way? Why is this emotion coming up? And how can I maneuver this? How can I feel these feelings but not let them keep me stuck? If that makes sense. So that's something that I really took from 2023 that I'm working through without getting too deep. But yeah, it's just a lot of cliche things. I kind of want to title this video the cliche quotes I've experienced in 2023, because it's so true. It's so true to the point I didn't even want to make this video, because I'm like, there's thousands, millions, billions of videos saying the same thing. But when you like experience something for yourself, ooh, them cliches be hitting different. They hit different. And I heard that too when it comes to like a song. You know, a song you might have heard as a child, like it's your jam, you love it, the lyrics is smooth. You know, them old school R&B love songs, how they'll get us. And we just, you know, 10 years old singing Mary J. Blige, don't know what real love is, ain't experienced real love in our life. You know what I mean? Never even been in a relationship. But you singing them lyrics like you could feel her through the song. Until you actually go through those experiences, that song is gonna hit different. It's gonna touch you in a different way. And that's the same thing with these things that I hear when I'm watching these videos and looking for encouragement and motivation, and they say things and it's like, I know what they're saying is right, I know what they're saying is true, but right now it just feels like a band-aid. It just feels like a blanket statement. I don't see how it's really truly deeply applying to me. They don't know my situation. I might need a little different advice, but you really don't. You really don't. It's all in your mind. We create scenarios in our mind. We create fears in our mind. You know, even in relationships, we create in our mind what we think the relationship is going to be like, or should be like, or will be like in the future. We like create fairy tales, and none of those things come to pass. You know what I mean? Like, you might have seen yourself spending your life, the rest of your life, with a person, and it didn't pan out that way, but you pictured it in your mind as such. You believed it, you felt it. So mindset is everything. Shifting your mindset is not a cliche. It's not just the saying. And it's true that where you are right now is a result of moves that you've made, decisions that you've made, thoughts that you've thought, and fears that you've let hold you back. Fears that first started in the mind. It's true. And it's true for myself too. Now I know that whatever God has for me is for me. Some doors are closed, not because you didn't try, not because you let certain fears hold you back, but it's just not the will of God for your life. But there's some things that you know that you're called to do, that you should be doing, and you haven't, because there's a part of you that hasn't fully applied yourself, because there's something in your mind going on. There's fear of rejection, fear of lack of support, fear of what outside people might say about you, like, well, who does he or she think she is? Like, I grew up with her. I know her. Like, why she thinks she could do this, and this? People have opinions about you that don't even know you, never even had a real conversation with you in their life. But they're going off of he say, she say, or somebody else's experience of you. And that'll hinder you from moving forward in what you're supposed to do, because you're fearful of those people having something to say about you or the person that you used to be. People don't think that you can really change, or somebody can really change. And a lot of times they're reflecting on you because they haven't changed. They still talking about the same things they was talking about 10 years ago, living the same life that they was living 10 years ago. So because their mindset and their actions haven't changed, they'll project that on you. Like, oh, she ain't grown, she ain't healed, she that same person doing that same thing. And it's like, no, people change. And people change, again, when they get sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's what it takes. You just upset, you be sick of yourself. It's like, okay, y'all don't like me, y'all sick of me. Imagine how you think I feel about me at this moment. I'm sick of me and my shenanigans. Like, something's got to give, something's got to shift, something's got to change. I want to experience new places, experience new things, new people. Like, all those things starts in the mind. And the last thing I want to touch on in this video, even though I've learned a lot of things in 2023, but this is just something that's come to my mind right now that's important, is that make the best with where you are. Take care of what you have. Be a good steward over what you have. I found myself complaining and in a state of depression, when I felt like I was losing everything. I was losing important people. I was losing things that I have, material possessions, where I was living at. Like, I felt like I was literally losing everything at once and just soaking in that. And I'm not saying be a robot, don't feel anything. Like, there's a time and a place. When something first happens, it's good to experience those feelings, but I got stuck in that, and I use that as a crutch to not want to do anything and to complain about everything. And I said, no, you know what, Lord, I'm going to thank you. I'm going to first thank you for my life. I thank you for my life. I thank you for all my senses. I thank you for mobility. I thank you for a brain to think. I thank you for my family. Like, I'm rich in other ways. I may be poor in financially and losing everything financially, but I'm rich in other aspects of my life. And it's not for me. Again, that comes from looking and comparing and thinking you should be somewhere further in life because of this timeline that society has set. There is no timeline. There's no timeline. Now, I know life is short and we kind of, want to achieve things, but not this by 26, I'm going to be doing this, and by 29, like, that's not the life of everybody. And we try to mold ourselves to fit into that timeline, and then when it doesn't, we begin to settle. We begin to get antsy. We begin to make decisions that we don't need to be making, and we lose money we didn't have to lose in the first place. And so I'm learning, just be content with what I have around me, down to the littlest things. It could be something so little, like, I love journals. I allowed myself to buy this one journal because I had to stop myself for buying one for a while. I'm like, look, I have enough journals. How many journals do you need? But I'm like, okay, I like to keep one for each area of my life, but I will not buy another one until I use the ones I already have. How many mascaras do you need? How many blushes do you need? If you got one good blush, or even two, that when you put it on your skin looking good, it's glowing, it's popping, like, stick to that. Do you really need, every single red lipstick that comes out and they're all the same shade of red? Sometimes we get consumed with materialistic things, and we want more and 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 more, and we're not satisfied. Lord, I want this over here, I want that over there. And I was doing that, like, Lord, I want this kind of house, and I need to be living this kind of way, and I want this type of thing, and this. And I was so wrapped up in that and so stuck in that the blessings that were happening right in front of me, that even other people could see, I could not fully appreciate it. It's like I appreciated it, but then that soon wore off, and I'm on to the next thing of what I don't have. instead of just like being present and just appreciating things that I have. Be appreciative. Like, no, this red lip is not enough. I need a different red lip. You know, I need this red lip over here because on social media, you know, this red lip from YSL equals status. You know, this lip over here is the broke lipstick. And I'm just using lipstick as an analogy, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes we even get caught up in the name of things. Like, you know, you need a cup for your house, but you know, you on a budget, but you go get this $50 cup and you know your budget is for a $5-10 cup, but you want to get that cup over there because that cup symbolizes status and how you appear to other people. So much that you're willing to put yourself in debt and even cause more, you know, heaviness on you. Now you're just in bondage to debt and just trying to keep up this appearance that's just not real, that's just not feasible right now. It is not to say to not enjoy good things in life, but it's like we don't even want to, we just live in a society where everything is instant gratification. We don't want to work for anything. We don't want to be disciplined to receive anything. You know, if you want that $50 cup, then maybe you need to save and wait till you're in a position to get that $50 cup, not because you're trying to keep up with other people, but because you're financially in a position where you can go get that $50 cup. Again, this is analogy. I'm not talking about a cup per se. I'm just saying in general, anything in life. We will rush to go get it and put this bondage of debt over us, making us work more hours at a job we already hate. Sometimes we put ourselves in a position to work these jobs we already hate. You know, it's hard to work the bare minimum, but now you done put yourself in so much debt trying to keep up with the appearance of other people that you've now put on more hours on your back now that you have to work, because now you got to pull yourself out of this hole that you really shouldn't be in to begin with. And I'm speaking to myself. I've been delivered from credit card debt multiple times, and I'm just upset with myself every time because I'm at work trying to pay this debt, trying to, you know, work extra hours and find these odd jobs or whatever, knowing it's just like, no, you should have just stayed out of debt. Then you wouldn't be trying to look for trying to take on all these extra hours and wearing yourself out. And now it's taking even more time away from the things that you really love to do and spending time with your family. So these are just a few things, my biggest takeaways that I learned from 2023 in my car rant as I'm parking right now. But I hope this kind of gives you something to reflect on and to think about as we move forward to this upcoming year. I like to self-reflect. I don't like to wait for the new year per se. I want to do it now so that I'm convinced that it doesn't take me a specific day of the year to say, okay, now I'm going to change. If I want to change in the middle of the year, I'm going to change in the middle of the year. And it shows that I'm disciplined. It shows that I can wake up any day of the year. And if I'm determined because of mindset to make that change, I'm going to make it today. I'm not going to wait, how we love to say, till Monday. You know how we always say, I'll start Monday. When you say that, you're not serious. And I'm speaking to myself. When I say that, I ain't serious. I'm putting it off because I really don't want to change. I'm really not sick and tired of being sick and tired. But I think that on Monday I will be. So, yeah. I'm going to just wrap the video up there. I'm trying to park right now. You know, I got to concentrate. But yeah, I hope you got something out of this video. Probably was a little bit scattered because my thoughts be running rampant, but I just gotta get it out. Had to get it out. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.